And welcome back to something a little different. This is the ZIF 500 Plus, and it is a PAL 500 Plus that I replaced majority of the sockets with ZIF sockets. A ZIF socket is a zero insertion force where you can pop up one of these locks and pull the chip out. I did it for Denise, the odd CIA, left the even CIA, of course Paula, and Gary. Now I didn't do the ROM socket. Agnes has a ZIF socket, but it's super expensive because it hasn't been used in 30 years. And the 68,000, of course, is intact. We have the Amiga Kit 2 megabyte module. This is Kickstart 3.2.2 for the A500. I don't have any lights on this. And there we go. The reason it is burgundy/red is there is no boot device. If I hook up a floppy disk, that screen will then turn the normal purple we're used to seeing. Amiga Test Kit is in the drive, but I'll leave it out. So now if I turn this on, the floppy drive will kick on and we'll have the normal purple screen we so know and love. 47.111 3.2.2. The reason I am making this video is this. Kevin needs an Amiga 1000 mouse. That's a special angle-dangled mouse that fits the profile of the 1000 where it's, you know, slim, so you don't have crap hanging out. Turn this off. The problem with the 500 and why this is out is because it's going to sit really weird and low. So I'll have some board flex. I don't care. I'm going to double mouse button to see if I have any mouse. Number one, does it double mouse button? Does the buttons work? I'm sure the rollers are crusted beyond relief. We don't even move. So that's one of my 1000 mice. This is the other one right here. And I don't know if this one moves either. So we're going to plug this one in on its board flex maneuver. This is just temporary, and this board is strictly for testing. Double mouse button on this one. And again, no movement. Why don't these move? Well, that's what we're about to find out. I have to crack it open here, and we're going to check for the dirt. Or is it the appropriate sized ball? This thing has some yuck in the teeth. I know this is dumb, but I'm going to Hooper's Hooch a Q-tip, and we're going to clean off these rollers. Now, I don't think this is the case with this. I don't think this is this one's problem. I don't think that is goop. I think that is a rust line. Continue on with the other roller that looks just utterly horrid. Now, this hasn't been used in God knows how many years. And you can scrape this stuff off, this skin funk. And when I open this up to check the photo cells, which may or may not work, this is as dry as your granddad's ankles, so you can see the metal crusties here that I'm trying to just get that big booger off of. It's so yucky, I'm going to have to hit it with a small chisel just to scrape the snot off of it. Alright, that's a little better. Turning this unit on, double mouse buttoning the buttons. The buttons are working. I can roll this manually to see if it works, and as you can see on the screen, there is no movement at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to crack this pickle open. And it's got 2 screws, and then it separates, and there's a clicky click back here, so be careful when you do that. Let's take this out. 2 screws, this pops open, and we'll, like, there's 2 tabs right there in the back, so you kind of got wiggle. Inside you have 1, 2, and then you have these photo cells, and they get crusty as crap because they can't read the little, it's a circle with a little bunch of slats in it, and it just gets dirty. So I'm going to take, again, a Q-tip with some isopropyl alcohol, hold the wheel with my finger, and then just roll with it Now there's also 2 capacitors on this board that are probably dried up. There's a big dog hair in there that's or human hair or teenager hair. Lots of hair. Lots of goop on that wheel. You can take your phone and you can take your camera, just put it on video, and you can look at these little LEDs and you'll see them light up when you move it. You're supposed to. And this is dirty as dirty is. So I'm going to zoom you into my phone because it has a clearer picture than this stupid ass camera. And right here, as you can see, oh shit. See that, God, sorry. That thing and that thing. They're your looking dudes. And there's a ball on the end of that chick right there that shoots a light into this reluctor wheel that you can now see the holes in it, and a bunch of hair and crap, yuck all over the roller, and funky cold Medina in there, looking really good. That'll all block that little light bulb. You're supposed to be able to see them. They're ultraviolet, so you can hit them with your camera and see them move. X, Y, nothing, no movement at all. There's nothing. So that means it's probably not getting power, which means to me that I got to put a capacitor in it. So I'm going to pop this button cover off, and I'm going to pop the mouse wheel holder off, and this center section will pop up. Come on now. There we go. Here's the buttons. Oh, there's our 2 caps. 1, 2, and they're leaky blue. And, oh, yum. That's nice. Some ashes fell out or whatever, and our board is yuck. Now Mitsumi made these way back in the day. This may have been messed with in the past. I'm not entirely sure. There are metal bars between a lot of these traces. You'll see all over the place, and like here to the resistor and stuff like that. And this is yummy. So yeah, I gotta get the beep beep stick out and do a couple continuity tests. Okay, shut up. I don't know why this has all that wire put on it. 6.3 volt 47 UF capacitors of solder on it. Ugh. A tremendous pile. The cool thing about this H-calorie multimeter is it has a capacitance test built in, which is really neat. Ground on this side. This is going to be tough to hold. That's the stinker part of it. 52 UF. This is a 47. So plausible. Same principle. Spread our legs, hold the positive. 0.6 UF. Alright, this is going to be way too long of a cap, so I might have to do the bend, the tile and tuck here on it. So with the caps replaced, we're going to double mouse button by turning the Amiga on and just pressing this down. Okay. And now, am I able to move the mouse? Nope.
Shit.
Not at all. So these wheels or the lights themselves have broken. You should be able to, like I said, look at your camera and you'll see them glowing blue. So that's a waste. How are you going to fix it, Chris? What is wrong with this mouse? Well, it's a tank mouse, number one, so the only important part is this cord, which I can just take off. Let's grab a tank mouse. Here's a tank mouse. Does this tank mouse work? It's a standard tank mouse with the regular old straighty. And this mouse is functional. Oh, totally different. Totally different. Fudge. Plugs the same. Wires, different colors. Shizzle, my nizzle, barizzle, farizzo. This mouse works, has one capacitor. I'm trying to do something that's not meant to be done, so let's possible. The pinout's different. An 8-pin cable. No really major damage. I mean, it's yucky. Insides of the mice. Nice, that hairball. Totally different screws. 2 on the top for the newer. Little different clasping mechanism. So bottom wise, this has no circuit board holder like the other one does. It's a bigger circuit board. What I'm going with here is I'm going to use the tank mouse plug on the A1000's physical mouse to determine if it's plug problem, which it's a plug problem, into this assembly. So it's a different pin out on that cable. I just don't have any movement. Oh, I have movement. I have jiggle. I have some type of, where's the cursor? Some type of jiggle, watch. I have a slight jiggle. I think those little lights just burned out, man. Alright, we're going to put the one back together. Girl. I don't have any parts for these besides swapping junk, which is what I tried to do, which failed miserably. I'll even leave the goop in there. Put the mouse cover back on, snaps into 2 poles here. So I accomplished absolutely nothing. We replaced caps in a mouse with new caps, and I could double mouse button, but the reluctor wheels are broken in both. I sort of have a little bit of movement in one axis, up and down. It wants to work. It's like if I really do it, see? I really spin it, I can move it. There's up. Ball size doesn't matter because this is the ball that fits it, I think. Let's see. Let's check your balls, sir. Let's swap balls. They're the same size. This one's crusty. Let me put some alcohol in this ball and jiggle it. Get all the scuzz, dog hair, and years of finger goop off. Which isn't gonna matter one lickety split. If I really run it, yeah, which sucks. And the left and the right mouse button are working, but I can't get anything out of either one of these. It's probably a common problem with the circuit boards. Those little LED lights are burning out, but it has a angle dangle, so it looks like this. On my 1000, you see how it just dangles down there, and that's how your 1000 mouse works. And I wanted to hook Mr. Kevin up because he needed one. I'm like, okay, I got one, but neither of them work. So dead. One tank mouse that works. I can send you a tank mouse. Whoops. You needed a tank mouse, I can send you a tank mouse. I can send you the broken one too if you just want it for parts, but this tank mouse does function. And that's the only other 1000 mice I had. Yeah, so this one works fine. Yeah. So, totally functional there. Unfortunately, this was a failure, but we got to use the Zip 500, and will I ever edit this video? I don't know. If you see it, I ran out of footage. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.
That boy is good. Mm-hmm. Good and terrible.